Hello, maybe something a little bit different, or perhaps even more authentically the same. See what you think. Where's fun? Hmm. I was young but old in some quality of wonder as a child on a bus playing some sort of Pokemon, and you may know this. I was engrossed. The characters danced freely through the story before me as I was no longer a child on the bus. I'm here to know now if that was because I forgot or because I more genuinely remembered. Look, as the cards were placed, as the sound chimed, I was invested. At least I'd wager my body would agree. It must have had all the signs responding to, or perhaps even receiving, listening to, probably somewhere of both. That bothness, a form of play, to maybe have that foot in the door on the other, God knows where. It's not one or the other, it's this blurring of boundaries there. You may know this, right? Until then, what? Maybe it starts with a missed shot in the game, something doesn't quite turn out or drones on, and there's something annoying again. A slow, like, that waking back up in the morning. Fuck, and what do you know? It's back, you're back. Suddenly there's the anticipation of something for dinner later. That, oh, right, there's school tomorrow. In particular, there's actually French class. And, you know, there's these figures, they make sounds. What else? The parents that know I spend too much time on the game, dancing atop all the 10,000 reasons for the bloody reason why. But of course, we kind of run out of words just about now after a while. But then, of course, there's always the possibility of the more, now exponentially becoming less. Like wisps now. Oh, rest your head, dearest. No, don't. Little chokes of air out from under the surface as there's something disappointing here. Something disappointing here. What might that be? Wonders some sucker who'll beg for mercy again sooner or later. What might what be, says another. Okay, right, I'm seated. Where's fun, right? Building a Lego set on Christmas morning, perhaps. Where? Maybe somewhere between the pieces? Is it just the satisfaction of getting it done? Is it the anticipation of completion? Is it merely the act of creation itself? Again, where? Unearthing the mighty stone of our souls now. Like the moment you see to it, it's gone. Like it moves with your head, like a hand clapping, all that silliness. I think it is that looking that is the first symptom of this it. Not it as in the fun, but its lack now, right? Would it be fun if we knew it was fun? If the fun was anything other than itself? Or would it just be that that thing was that the fun wasn't, but at least was its known trace, like following the breadcrumbs maybe? Namely, if I somehow told you it, spoke this it out loud, and not merely to exclaim something like, this is fun, aren't we really getting it now? Look at these things, new things, but to see it, not merely its particulars in a way in which one could what? Put one's hand upon it, wield it like a weapon, and fire its bullets upon trespassers on its property. If only, right, if the fun could be mine, I don't know, I'd start a fun factory, I'd fun it all, fun for everyone, right? But nonetheless, sure, blow out the candle. Don't be too worried and go about your day submerged in games and sets and the like without a care in the wind, until what? Meets the same fate. Boring. No good. You might even be feeling it now watching this parade, throwing enough bread to the circus animals here maybe. But maybe that's not... maybe there's somewhere else to be. Or that's not it. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's not here. Gone. It's left. Just dissipated through the bedroom window you couldn't bother to close all the way. Like as many times as, I don't know, it's scolded into memory. Some crevice always remains, like that little distance always. The carrot on the ever unfair stick. Ouch. No, not to be dreary or even cheeky, why such a thing? My friend was telling me things of dreams and the like, saying things about YouTube shorts and the friendly fellow specimens of the comments arguing black to white about dream character power levels and hypotheticals, things that straddle the imagination of positive generals maybe, whatever. And it made me think, 10,000 dream worlds, I mean, who knows where such fun could lead one, right? But the way the bubbles now will sort of ripple, share, take, leave, harmonize, or sound in Discord, I think these bubbles are of the same juice of that fun from earlier. It's this sort of peripheral breeze. It's more than that. It's I don't know, it's everything in the background. It's everything from the rest of the bus outside the game screen to the underlying conception of, well, the rest of the room back here behind me. And now the same in front, but now behind. It's this reference calculation that grounds any of this in a way, makes it real or draws the connection or makes things actual in some sense. Maybe too much so sometimes, and maybe not enough. Is there a gradient to reality? I'm not actually sure, but this room behind me, well, out of sight and limited to the periphery, is by no means out of mind, at least as much as one isn't completely out of one's fucking mind. Right, of course, as I routinely forget, periphery, that rustling of a wild animal in the bushes, does something always escape us in that sense? I'm not sure what this all means. God knows these sorts of perfect ledges to stub one's cerebral toe upon have haunted us for centuries, prompting all sorts of time swirled upon multitudes of angels fit across pinheads falling in forests out of sight. I'm not interested in divining exactitudes through my flute to lull one's sleep, but more so to detonate a bomb, to blow some shit up, then perhaps leave it to you knowers to call what's then seen. Perhaps we need some facts. I'm not sure. It's like this pen. Is it really this pen, all this, you know, but what is the penness? Silly, but look, what is there such that it is such? You see, perhaps it's a figment of my imagination, enacted and manifested for the sake of my own crude advantage, or maybe I'm lost in even assuming a nothing, you know, the such that such is such thing. But again, tell me what this is, and how do you know it, and the knowing of that knowing and all the rest. Is it the pen, or it's knowing? No pen, no knowing, no pen? Why wonder such a thing? Mental masturbation? Why can one actually ask why? What business would I have in that by any story of my own here now, bereft, storyless, except my sorry story now of being without? Strange, yet still nonetheless, it pens. Voila. Correspondence, you may say, that whole thing again? Where is it? Correspondence to what? Of what? Kicking the can down the road and holding my breath until I count the numbers till infinity. Not so easy. Silly, even. We all know it's not going anywhere anytime soon. God knows we've answered these questions in many ways over the ages, and now, and what we know today may be gone by tomorrow. Is now not such a remarkable time of quite a strange situation in regards to the matter? Namely to that of moisture, perhaps? You know, the mysteries and silly questions kids ask playing games on buses. Calm before the storm? There's still something disappointing here, but perhaps we can buy a little time by the fire? I'm not sure. So, where is Pikachu? You know him, you love him or hate him, maybe he's to whom you owe some significance. You know how we get on in shared imaginations of things. But what Pikachu? So much so that he has something of a god. Who's Pikachu? The Pikachu? As my phone autocorrects my spelling of that word as if to support the cause, as if to tease my wand. Now where was that first kiss? Where were her eyes? Where was her heart? And from where we cried, all that rhymes here up in the night? Oh, goodness. But really now, what was it? A dream? A bubble? Floating past again? Those moments so real that still somehow leave us pinching our flesh in disbelief? That perhaps inspire art in its relations thereof? What came first? Why are you still thinking about it? Why has it made me write this silly thing? Why did it keep you at night? Why do we know what each other mean now? Where does one thing connect to the other thing such that they create a thing that connects to another and all the rest? Or do we not? Or merely only pretend to one or the other? I don't fucking know. That's the play here. Why was it real? So real we're here questioning if it ever was. How's that for reality? Can you touch it? Can you smell it? Taste it even? Of course. Not? Now hop to it, because God knows there's nowhere near the multitude of fingers required across the entirety of this imaginably infinite cosmos to possibly exhaustively count and bother with collecting the whole thing, to leave not one stone unturned, of course including the silliest turning stone of all, that stone unturning itself, of course including to count that turning of the turning as well, and the next, and so on, descending one turtle made of cards at a time. Would that not be to entirely miss its point anyways, my friend? At least not as much as to not partake of its opposite whatsoever, the bother to not bother so much. Now isn't that quite a bother? Here again. Right. Well, goodbye!